Welcome to Senior Insights. My name is Cynthia. I'm really glad that you were able to join me today for coffee. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of different things, but I have a little bit of show and tell. Not much. Don't get excited, or don't be relieved because you're going to be bored. Either one, it could go either way. Anyway, when I talked about the Tupperware, I got so many comments on the Tupperware, so I wanted to review some of them, not the particular comments, but some of the products that they brought up, because they tickled my memory, and I remember every one of them. I don't know why I didn't remember them, or why they didn't come up when I did a search on Tupperware products. So, and I was going to show you this. I know a lot of you have this. I'm sure you do. I've had this probably well over 50 years. Still as good as new. That's the first show and tell. Then I want to, since I'm still on Tupperware, I wanted to just throw out some of the names. I'm not going to talk about them or jibber jabber about them, but I just want to pique your memory a little bit and see if you remember them. Measuring spoons and cups. I don't think I talked about it. I thought I did talk about the measuring cups, but I didn't mention the spoons. And one of the subscribers, member of this group, said that she has a mini bowl with a cover on it, keychain. That must have been like a door prize or something, you know, you spend so much money and you get a prize. That sounds like that might have been the booby prize when you didn't spend enough money. But you showed up, so. Did you ever go to one of those parties and look in the catalog and try and find the least costly thing to buy? I did that every time. I wanted to be nice to the person who was doing it, because it takes guts to do that and invite people, you know, to spend money. But I always, every single one of those parties, I found the cheapest thing and I bought it, whether I wanted it or not, because some of the things were expensive even then. Well, they were expensive. Everything's relative, so they were expensive to us. Salt and pepper shakers. I don't know how I missed that one. My girlfriend that just passed away last year, she had these salt and pepper shakers, once again, for over 50 years. So that was pretty cool. And then someone mentioned a 2-quart measuring pitcher. I don't remember that. Coffee cups with lids and cold cup cups with lids. And I remember the cold cup ones. You could get them in pastel colors. I think they were pastel colors. I don't remember the coffee cups that much. I wasn't into coffee that much then. In my younger days, in my younger married days. And now I debated long and hard whether I should mention this one, because after all, this may be a sensitive subject to some people, but I'm saying it in humor, and that's the way I would like you to take it. So, she said in the comments that Tupperware should make a Tupperware coffin. They last forever. Another thing that was about Tupperware, somebody saw it in Costco or Sam's Club someplace, so the brand is still out there. They still are selling it, still are selling Tupperware. No more home parties. But you can probably get it in those, you know, major retailers. So enough about Tupperware. Have you had enough? I'm not going to talk about it again. Maybe in a year when you've already forgotten, because we forget a lot. That's why I guess I didn't mention all these things, because I forgot. And I also forgot my main theme that I had in my mind, but it'll come back to me because I just talk and then it'll just free flow out. You know how when you forget someone's name, and you're talking to a friend and you're talking about someone and you cannot remember their name? And they were somebody that you really knew, you should know, and you can't remember their name. That happens to me quite frequently. The name recollection, you know somebody and you can't. People that were really almost important to you. It's really pretty strange. Yet, here we go. I did an episode on dreaming, and one of the things that I dream of that seems to be a recurring thing is people that I went to grammar school with or high school. I haven't seen those people in 70 years. Why would I be dreaming about them? But I remember their names in my dreams, and I don't remember who I dream about. Does that ever happen to you? Well, maybe I just forget. Anyway, I wanted to take this time to thank you for joining me in my house. Thank you for coming for coffee. And I have tea today because I'm filming this a little bit later. I'm sorry I was late this morning. You know what happened? I was supposed to take the dog someplace to have her nails clipped because it's about 30 miles away, but it's the only clinic the dog, I don't know if you call it, it's a nail clipping clinic for dogs. It's only for 4 hours, so you have to get there right at 8 a.m. and it closes at 12. Well, despite the fact that I don't like mid-morning or late morning appointments, on those days that I bring the dog to have her nails done, I get up early and I'm out the door by 7 o'clock. Well, I had a hard time sleeping last night. I don't know why, it must have been instant fame or whatever, but oh, I know what, I'll tell you that later. I woke up and I said, her nails can be long for 1 more week. Now, I don't want any negative comments. They're not that bad. Okay, so I went back to bed. And then I didn't get up until 8:30. That ruins the whole day. Because I have rituals that I do in the morning. I get up, I get washed up or I shower. I do my prayers. I have my breakfast. Which is another whole story because I don't eat well. Do a lot of you, I bet a lot of you eat well and you're really concerned. You really want to eat well for your health, and that's really a good thing. But where was I? I wanted to thank you. That's what it was. I appreciate all the kindness that you people have said to me in the comments. And I appreciate you watching this show. And I'm just very grateful and very thankful, and I love having you. That's the thing. I just love this. I love it. I like the idea that we're coming together, and they were talking about a little serious thing thrown in here and there. The Mother's Day was kind of, I thought twice about that, but it was too late. I posted it, and it was too late for me to make another one, so I'm sorry if that didn't feel good to some people, but it was what I was thinking. I was trying to reach other people that are not as fortunate as our wonderful mothers that are on this channel. I have to tell you, I finally told my daughter and my son that I had a video channel. My daughter stopped by. She's going away on Mother's Day. I'm filming this before Mother's Day, but it's after Mother's Day that we're having coffee together. Do you understand what I'm saying? I have one friend who doesn't understand that? But I'm here. I am here, definitely. But anyway, my daughter stopped over, and I was feeling bad. That Sunday, that the numbers were just rolling and rolling and rolling. My son and I were having so much fun watching it. And I said, should I tell the other two? Well, the other two's named Erica and Ben. They'll probably kill me. Ben won't, because he's already commenting on the videos. So look for a guy named Ben. So Erica asked if she could stop by yesterday, and she came in and she had a beautiful hydrangea, which I love. I love hydrangeas. I don't have a lot of space, but they can grow in partial shade. So I have a spot that she got me to last year because I asked for them. You know, the thing that dawned on me is when I got them, I said to myself, why did you ask for that? You haven't even been outside planting. You haven't even cleaned up the yard. You haven't done the spring cleaning. I should show you the dog poop in the back of my yard. You know my dog is big. Well, she poops big. And I know I've told you this is too much information, but I have to tell you, this is what I'm dealing with. It was my choice. I got a big dog, and I love her. She can poop wherever she wants, except in the house. But the poop has been there since last fall, because I usually go out and pick it up every day, or every other day at the most. But I haven't done it since last fall. Back to the hydrangea. I was thinking, why did you ask for that? Because you might not even be here next year. You know, because, I mean, none of us know what's going to happen a minute from now. But I'm not saying that I'm going to be dying next year. I'm saying I don't know if I'll be able to maintain this house. I'm not even sure I'll be able to plant the hydrangea. Because in my mind, I won't be able to do it until I clean up that whole yard and it has a nice spot. I have a nice spot for it. So anyway, this was another part of the show and tell. This is the hydrangea. It's called Let's Dance Can Do. Isn't it pretty? And it's an ever-blooming, it reblooms, and it's a big leaf hydrangea. And it's a proven winner. And it matches my shirt. This is the shirt, yes, that I wore yesterday. You know, one of the questions my daughter said is, Mom, if you record videos, 2 videos a day, do you change your shirt? I said, no, I don't change my shirt. I told them that I wear my shirt a few days. I'm glad she didn't ask me about my jeans, because I wear them a lot more than a few days. I only have 2 pair, and I only do wash once a week. So you figure that one out. And people have been talking about my blue hair. I think I mentioned it. And what I wanted to do before I told her was I wanted to say, you think my hair is bad? My daughter has beautiful auburn reddish hair, and she puts these purple stripes in it, highlights, whatever you call it. It's not all purple. It's just, it's pretty tasteful for those people that color their hair, if you like that sort of thing. I was thinking one time to get a purple streak here just to freak my kids out. They'd probably laugh. But anyway, so that's my daughter. So then I call up my son after my daughter leaves. I call up my son. His name is Ben. Watch for him in the comments, because he gives snarky comments. He said in his first comment, not way to go, Mom, he said, you would yell at me if I ate muffins and talked with a mouthful. That must have been the video that he watched. But anyway, the way I told him was I I called him up and I said, I want you to go and sit on your couch. And he said, Mom, I'm eating. I said, well, then call me back when you're done eating. And he said, well, what is it? What's wrong? I said, there is nothing wrong. Go finish your dinner and call me back and have your wife and my grandson there on the couch looking at the TV. Do you understand that? I said. This is why I called him, because if I texted him and said, look up Senior Insights, he wouldn't have done it because he wouldn't know what I was talking about. And I didn't want to tell him what I was talking about because I wanted to explain it to him myself. So, I'm all out of breath. So anyway, he calls me back. I said, are you done eating? This is the way I talk, honest to God. I do. This is the real me. I said, are you done eating? And he said, yeah. He said, all I had was he said an enchilada or something. I said, well, are the rest of them done eating? Because if they pass around paper towels, they probably don't all sit at the table at the same time, right? Or they don't all get up at the table at the same time like we used to do. Anyway, he said, yes, they're all done eating. It was only me that was eating. I said, are they sitting on the couch? Mom, what is wrong? Nothing is wrong. Get her and tell her to sit on the couch. Okay, she's here. So I say, go to YouTube. First I said, do you have YouTube on your TV? He said, yeah. I said, go to YouTube. Now what do? I said, go to the search bar. And I said, put in Senior Insights. So do you know when you're doing a search, I do it all the time, I push the wrong buttons, the wrong letters or the letter next to the button. Anyway, he said, Mom, how do you spell senior? This is a 48 or 49-year-old kid I don't know because I don't remember my kid's age. And I know he's not a kid, but he is my kid. He is my baby. And actually, he's the oldest one. But you can tell, if I have to tell him how to spell senior, that he's my baby. So I tell him how to spell senior and Insights. And I said, now push the button. Go to that channel. So then I come up big as life because, these kids, they have 80-inch TVs. Is that you? And my grandson says, is that Nana? And I said, I had him on speakerphone. I said, yes, it is. Now go to that first video, and I am staying on the phone while you watch it. I want you to watch it with me. So it was, the video that I made him watch was the viral one, I don't even know what it was. I can't think of it because I'm having so much fun. I hope your coffee isn't getting cold because you're laughing so much, because I'm laughing. My tea is halfway gone. I don't remember taking a sip. Anyway, so he's watching the video. And I know he's deliberately not trying to laugh, but both of them are laughing. The 7-year-old didn't pay any attention once he noticed that it was me. But they were laughing. I made them watch the whole thing. He said, you got lost getting out of diapers? I said, yeah, I did. On Broadway? Yes, on Broadway. I took the wrong exit out of the restaurant. You flunked your You flunked your cognitive tests. Yeah, I did. What of it? And he says, you're putting it on YouTube? I said, yes. These people are my friends. They understand what it's like to flunk a cognitive test. So anyway, he watches the whole thing. And they laughed. This is what he said to me. Well, I gotta go now. Henry wants to watch a movie. It's movie night. I said, well, so much for Nana. But I have to say that I was pleasantly surprised when I told Erica. She was very pleased. Did I tell you that I told her? I think I told you that I told her, but she was pleased. I could tell because she keeps her feelings to herself a lot. But she was, wow. And we looked at the analytics, and she said, are you monetized? And I said, I think so, because I have so many view hours. And then she said, well, let's go into the analytics. So we went into the analytics. I'm not monetized. You must have to stand on your head to get monetized. I still need 500 public watch hours. What are those? Once you post a video, it's public, but I don't understand. I don't understand any of that, and I don't really care. But I was kind of disappointed that I wasn't monetized. Not for the money, not for the money. It's a challenge. You know, just like doing a YouTube channel was a challenge for me, and I did it. And pretty soon, people are going to be asking for my autograph, and 80 years from now, people are going to be handing up in show and tell, look at what I found in my daughter's closet. I'm sorry, I had another thing that I wanted to do, a show and tell, and I should have done it first because it needs to be refrigerated. But I'm not going to put it in the refrigerator because someone else commented, because supposedly I asked, that she doesn't like it when the content creators get up and leave the camera for a minute to go and get something, and if they do that too often, they don't watch anymore. So I'm not going to the refrigerator because I can't afford to lose one subscriber. I'm just kidding. You know my feeling about that. Anyway, remember how I was talking about the asparagus that I stored in a mason jar after I washed it with water and vinegar, and I stored it in a mason jar. Then after 2 weeks, I took it out of the mason. No, I didn't. Yes, I did. I took it out of the mason jar and I put it in one of my mugs. And I filled the mug up with water and I cut off the ends so they'd be fresh ends, like you do when you get flowers. Well, we don't get flowers anymore, but and I made my quiche. I made a bacon, asparagus, Swiss cheese quiche, and I actually threw in some heavy cream that was going potentially bad in a few days. And this is it. And it came out. I'll take the saran wrap off because I don't want you to know that I'm using saran wrap because that's not good for the landfills, and I'll get a comment about that. But doesn't that taste good? Does that taste good? It did taste good. I had 2 pieces. Look at. It's only me. I'm the only one in this house. Nobody else. It's very rare. I had company yesterday, so that was really nice. Of course, she was working, so she just stopped by on her way. She's a home health physical therapist, and she just stopped by on her way. So I was thrilled that finally the cat's out of the bag, and I told them. And they were happy about it. They weren't making fun of me. They were in awe, like I am. I can't believe you did that, Mom. I can't believe it either. I said to Erica, I just woke up one day and said, I'm going to do a YouTube channel. And I did it. I know you've heard that all over and over again, but I repeat myself. Old people repeat themselves, so you have to get used to it. I was going to talk about gratitude. And I started out by thanking you. But gratitude, if you practice gratitude, like you say thank you, and you look at the trees and the sun shining, and if you get up in the morning and you say thank you, God, that I can put my feet on the floor. Thank you that I can open my eyes. Those of you who can't put your feet on the floor, find something. Somebody that came into your room and smiled at you, or gave you a sip of water, or washed your face, or something. Think about it. Be grateful for it, because it feeds into joy and happiness. And I think that's what's happened to me with the comments. I'm wicked happy. That's a main term, you know, wicked. I'm wicked happy. I want you to come and join me for coffee or tea. And yes, I will sometimes eat in front of you, but, well, oh well. But there's people from all over the world, Australia, South Africa, several people from the UK and Canada. I'm very grateful. I'm very, very grateful. And kindness is free to give, but precious to receive. And that's what I want to say to you folks. You have actually given me so much. And you know, those first subscribers that I was crying about the other day, when I talked about unsubscribe if you don't like. I have never met them, but I have never met such nice people in my life. And I'm not kidding. And other people that have made comments, they're so kind. And they thank me for doing this channel. Come on, I'm the one who's grateful. I'm so happy to have coffee every morning with you folks, because first of all, it gives me a purpose, it gives me something to do, and for that I am grateful, because what I was doing is just, I don't know what I was doing. I was wallowing in the politics for one thing, and we're not never talk about politics ever on this channel. Peace, calm, tranquility. Or we'll be in that Tupperware coffin a lot sooner than we want to. How was that? So I did a video on gratitude, but it was in the beginning, and it was when I was trying to do scripted speeches, and I wasn't that comfortable. But it was pretty good. I looked back. I didn't look at the video because I don't want to see those old ones. But I looked back at my notes, and I encouraged everyone to do a gratitude journal. And so I said, well, if you're telling other people or suggesting that other people should do a gratitude journal, then you should do a gratitude journal. So I did, and I'm going to show it to you. I had this cute book, and this was going to be my travel journal. I bought it when I went to Italy with my sisters. And I did my gratitude. I'm sorry, that lady's going to be upset. I started it March 7th on a Friday. I said, I am grateful for my YouTube channel. That was the first thing that I put in there, because I am. So I started it on March 7th, and I haven't put anything in it since March 31st. I'm wondering if I said anything else about. I'm grateful for finally being happy. Anyway, that's what I was saying in another video recently. We know all the answers, but we don't do them. if we took every single day and did a gratitude journal, there's some people in the comments or subscribers that do gratitude journals, and they do junk journals, and it's kind of fun. It's a crafty thing. I don't do those either. So this video is getting long and winded, but I have so many things to talk about. But things like this, there is nothing fancy about this channel. It is just what comes out of my mouth in the order that it comes out. And I know a couple of videos ago I said I was going to tell you something in the end, and I didn't. It's the way it is. So thank you very much for joining me for coffee, and I hope you come back tomorrow for more coffee and more senior insight. Thank you.